So hi everyone. This is Okoth Omachi here. I'm one of the founders of Omabra Poultry Assistant. So Omabra Poultry Assistant, and I want to be very quick in the video because I want to cover whatever is necessary in the limited time possible. Omabra Poultry mainly focuses on trying to make a poultry farmer's life easier. The first thing it does is that it has a lot of very good features in terms of just poultry management. It has predefined activities that a farmer is supposed to follow up when working on either a broiler or a kienyeji or working on something like a layer. It has like predefined activities, whether it's vaccinations, whether it's health checks, whether it's coup assessments, that's the assessment of the coup, and things like those. One of the other problems that it tries to address is that farmers usually have like a very big problem in terms of when chicken are sick. They can do image aided diagnosis. That is something that AI allows it to be possible to do. Then the other part that we added is we realized that there's no complete farmer who doesn't have a market and doesn't have like a supply chain. So we also have a supplier side and a client side. So it's like a whole ecosystem where the farmer can be able to get products that he can use in the farm, especially feeds, and even in some cases even get like chicken. And on the other hand, a farmer can also build their own customer base, right? And a customer also has the ability to actually browse through different farmers and get best market prices. So it's a whole ecosystem of the poultry. So I'll just go through some of the basic features, and it would be good if you actually go and create an account. If you want to be a supplier, you can create a supplier account. If you want to be a farmer, which has most of the features, you can create a farmer account. Or if you want to be a client, and I think client is basically almost anyone, you can create a client account and you'll be able to browse through the different farms and buy different items from the different farmers that we have. All suppliers are vetted. The expectation is that you're going to deal with people who actually understand the business and will provide very good products for farmers. So let me start. So we have a website, and you can see clearly through our website, we try to explain everything that we do, just like I said. So Omabra connects farmers, suppliers, and customers in one seamless platform. So it just makes it easier to buy and sell poultry products, right? So farmers have like a lot going on for themselves. They have reminders, they have AI assistants to help them with their work. They can actually create their online shop. They can order supplies from local suppliers and things like those. And the best part is they can actually track their expenses and their profits and things like those. I think that is one part that is very, very important. And then for suppliers, you can actually get a good market of where you can sell your products, especially feeds, equipment, and things like those. So it makes it easy for you. And then customers, the best thing is just you can order something, especially eggs and chicken. And if you can order even manure, you can order very many different things, right? Um, for all the payments that are done within Omabra, we have like escrow protection. So when a buyer buys something or when a client buys from a farmer, that money goes to an escrow account until the farmer makes a delivery. When a farmer when a farmer buys from a supplier, that money goes into an escrow until the supplier makes a delivery. So it's a whole ecosystem that works on its own. Um, you can see here we have like AI powered assistants. I don't know why it has loaded. You can see an example of that. So you can upload images for visual diagnosis. There's chat history, there's everything. And then so far our pricing is very simple, and that's because obviously we are starting out. So suppliers and farmers have to do like subscriptions because of the different features provided for them. But then customers, it's free, and things like those. So what I'll do is I'll dive into what happens. And I think the best thing for me would be to start from a farmer. And just so that I can show you what are the simple things that can happen within a farm. So first of all, you can join as anything. If you click here like get started, you'll be asked different questions. Join as a farmer, join as a supplier, join as a customer. Whichever you choose, that's fine. But for us, I'm going to sign in because I already have like accounts. So I'll start with one of our accounts here. This is a farmer account, and we can just go through it. Um, so it's actually some accounts of a real farmer, but the information is probably not going to be too exposing. So let us give it like a few minutes, and I'll rush through. I'll rush through this just because I don't want us to take too much time. Otherwise, it will be a very long video that we won't be able to see. And I don't know why it's taking this long. It's not supposed to take that long. Let's reload it again. Let me log in again. Let's see what happens. Thank you. So it has come in. Sorry for the initial, I think it was my internet. So this is an example of a farmer's, this is like a farmer's account. And you can see he has like pending activities. This is the net number of chicken they have. These are tasks that are overdue. So these are things that he's supposed to do, but he hasn't done yet. This is profit. So I think it's actually negative. So that means for this month, he has actually used much more than, they have been able to use much more than what they've been able to bring in. Most of this happens just when probably you have like, maybe you made like one big purchase. Maybe you bought some, like I think this particular farmer bought some stock. He actually bought like another flock of 0-day-old chicks. So that's why that amount is a negative. But then you can see this is what happens. It has like a weekly cumulative net income. So these are like basic stats on the farm itself. And they can prove to be very, very helpful. And you can have as many farms as you want, of course. Because, sometimes what happens is you can have a farm in different places. And within a farm, you have flocks. So like this person has like different flocks. You can see he has like rows. These are the different types of flocks that he has. And all these come at different times. And they have all been set up for different things. So those are the farms, right? You can actually add a farm. This is how you add a farm. It's pretty simple. You add a farm, you add the chicken details, blah, 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 blah. Then once you have it, you can add like a flock, definitely. Or yeah, so once you add a farm, you can add your first flock and then keep on adding flocks. So the most important part of this is a farm. So it's a farm that will generate activities. So once you add a farm and you have specified a particular flock, the system will be able to generate a number of activities for that flock. So that will include immunizations, that will include health checks, that will include equipment check. That will give you all the steps that you need to take. And if you follow them correctly, you'll be able to have like a very healthy flock. So that's the first thing, and that's how you can create your farm. That's why creating a farm should be something, we put it to something that is very, very easy, just to help you to actually fast track in terms of, having a farm and starting on it almost immediately. The next thing is that once you've created a farm, it will appear down here. And then if you look at here, you'll be able to see some of the features. This is where you can actually add a flock if you have like an extra flock. And then from here, you'll be able to see your different flocks you can select. And here, you can even select this. And if you select this, it already has like tips it can give you, AI generated. So it will tell you like your chicks are 24 days, they're on the grower phase. And then it will advise like feed target is 100 grams per bird per day. So that's like 32 kilograms for 305 birds, because it already knows your birds are 305. And then it gives you all the nutrients that are required for these birds and the water that is required for that bird. So that just helps you to have like a daily routine of whatever you need to do. So that's part of it. The other thing is, so I've talked about dashboard, I've talked about farms, is activities. So depending on your flock, you might have quite a number of activities. And for instance here, let's say you take this particular flock. It's a very young flock, so that's why it has quite a number of activities. So it tells you deep, clean, cool, blah, blah, blah. And then it even gives you dates. So it will tell you like, by the time it reaches 13th of January, you're supposed to do like Newcastle disease and bronchitis vaccination. So once you do that, you mark it as complete, right? And that's what it does. And in case you don't understand what this means, you can just click here to ask AI and it will tell you, okay, so this is what it means. And then this is what it's for. Let me try and see whether it does that. And then let me send. So the AI will, if you're in doubt of any activity and you really need to understand how it's done, the AI will help you understand that. So that's the basic importance of that, right? And you can see here it has generated quite a number. I'm not sure whether it will be visible here, but from my side, it has generated quite a number of things and a lot of information around that. So activities are important because it keeps you in check with the standards expected of you as a farmer and of your flock. And if you follow them religiously, your flock should survive well. We also have hatching, and this person hasn't hatched yet, but then you can start a batch. So that means probably you're hatching some eggs. You can load an incubator. Maybe the type is either incubator or broody. And then you set a date, and then egg set, and then breed. So you can select the particular breed of the chicks, and then you'll be able to go through that incubation period. And then once you start that batch, you can actually be able to transfer it to a flock. So if you brooded like 100 birds, you can transfer that, once the eggs are hatched, you can transfer that to a flock and start, and actually start following it up as a flock and look at its vaccinations and all those things. So that has been provided for, right? I don't want to create something here because it's like a live account. I just want to show you what that means. And then we have records. This is the best part. This is where you get to track your eggs collected, you track your feeds, you track your sales, you track your expenses, you track your net birds, and all these things. And everything here is actually, you still have like the option of having the raw data, which you can actually download in a PDF or CSV file. And then you have a graph here that just tries to tell you what's happening. Like here you can see for the last 12 months, especially in January, this client had like a record high expense. And you can look at everything. You can try to look at how they were doing their sales and look at their sales. And once you look at their sales, you'll be able to see that by the time January is ending, they have like around 30,000 has been paid, and they have like a pending balance of 2,000. So some clients have paid, some haven't paid. And most of these records are quite easy to input. So you just select add, then you can add any record here, whether it's a health check, whether it's a stock change, whether it's a mortality, whether it's an expense, or whatever it could be, you can just add it there. And stock changes in most cases are probably you add, when you sort of like, for a specific flock, you can add like either eggs or whatever it is, you can just change that stock. If it's the number of chicks themselves, whatever it is, you can change that stock at a particular point. So that's the importance of a stock change. So all these things are within here. It will be better for you to play around with them so that you can fully understand them. I'm just personally rushing into the whole system. Mortality is also very important to actually understand, and I can tell you for sure, at some point, I think mortality is very, very critical. So all these things, you might be able to see them. You will be able to see them, and then you can add them, and you can be able to follow up on everything that's actually going on. So for sales, you can actually manually input sales, but if you want, and if your client buys through the system, because remember, you still have the option of sending like a link to the client. If your client buys through the system, it should be able to auto-upload itself. That means it will update itself automatically. So this is where you have all your records and everything going on for you. And this is very, very important, especially if you want to know how you're doing in your business. The only thing is that for all the expenses, you have to manually record them. And it's important because sometimes someone goes and buys something simple, then they assume that, they don't assume that it's actually going as a business expense until you do the math, and then things start not to make sense. So that's records. If you go to the AI assistant, this is very, very important. I think there's a health check I was looking at here. I just need to show you how this thing behaves. Like here, we were doing health check for Issa Brown on that day. How many birds are showing, blah, 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 most of them. And then the system will be able to tell you what you should do. System environment check, feed and water. So it has like that aspect of diagnosis. You can even do like a coup assessment. It will start another conversation, I'm sure. So if you do like a coup assessment, you can actually take like you can take a photo of the coup, and then you can upload it there, and then it can start to do an assessment and tell you what's wrong and what you can improve. Or if not, you can just write something, right? And tell it something, and then it should be able to answer. So that's how the AI assistant helps. And it's a very important part of this because there are so many times where farmers don't have answers to particular questions that they may have. And if it's like a disease issue, like the one we were just checking, like this one, let me just show you an example. So this is where we were looking for a layer. It had like feathers that have gone. what's up with the layer chicken of this flock. Then we were given some very good insights, especially molting. It actually ended up being molting. So that means we had to change the sawdust since we were using a deep litter system. So we had to change that sawdust. So not molting, sorry, it actually ended up being parasites. That's what I wanted to say. So we decided that, hey, we need to remove this sawdust because we have some parasites. And this actually helped us a lot. So you can see how important that gets. And if the conversation is very, very nice, you can take this, if you just need like more advice, and copy it and close. And then you can share this conversation with someone, right? You can share with this conversation with someone, and then they should be able to see what's up with this layer chicken. They should be able to see that conversation and give you some sort of advice that they think that they can. So once you share this, they can able to try Omabra or something, but they should be able to give you some advice once you've shared that. So that's a lot around AI, with more features to actually be added to it, so that to help in contextual based sort of AI assistance. And then we have the wallet. The wallet is very, very critical because this is where it shows how much you have on escrow, how much you need to withdraw, and your available balance. Now, available balance is determined by different things. It can be determined by something like, you know, the clients have actually put some money, have actually bought some of your stuff, so your balance is determined by that. And then also as a farmer, you can actually pay for supplier products using your balance. So it's a whole ecosystem, and everything is actually escrow. So it means only after delivery are the funds actually provided. So that is it. Here is where the farmer can actually create like a shop. So now this is a shop that this farmer has created, and he has actually had some orders, you can see there. And these are some of the products that they sell. So that's just a shop. And then when buying products, these are suppliers have actually listed their products where farmers can actually check and buy those products, right? And then there is billing, whereby you just pay for the subscription. We're still working on this page, but yeah, there's that part. So I want to go straight into the supplier side. It's gonna be quick. Supplier side and the client side, so that you can just see what I'm talking about. So if I close this, then I sign out, then I sign in, then I think I can find one supplier here. I think this can be a good supplier. Let's just go to this supplier. So now this is a supplier, right? And this supplier has not sold anything, so this is more of like a demo. But you can see he has a dashboard where you can see different things that he has sold to different farmers. And this is he can actually add products, right? And he's actually supposed to be seeing one product here. I don't know why I can't see it, but the supplier can actually add products. Oh yeah, we haven't yet put a product there, but we'll see. And then just the supplier can update his information here and subscribe. So I think subscription is 100,000 shillings. So this is where it's like your settings page, you do all that. We come back to the dashboard, and then I add something. There's something here that I need to add. Yeah, there are no products yet. So, but you can add a product. You can just choose the way it looks. You can say it's a layer, blah, blah, blah. It's a feed, all these things. And then add that product. And then all the farmers will be able to see your product. The product is not visible to clients. It's only visible to farmers. This is where your orders will be. So anytime an order is made, it will appear here. That's the expectation. And just like the farmer, you also do have a wallet, whereby your balance is affected by the amount of money farmers pay to you. And you can only withdraw and escrow, because for a supplier, you probably won't need to be doing a lot of buying unless you also want to have like a client account. So this is how the supplier one works. It's not very complicated. I think the most important thing for the supplier is if they can actually add like a product, of which they actually do add products. So that should actually be enough for the supplier. And then just being able to sort of what's the word? Trace the different orders and everything. So that is also possible for them. So it's a pretty simple one, not too much for them. The only thing for them is that once they do a product, their product will appear on the farmer's on the farmer's timeline or on the farmer's marketplace, and then farmers can be able to buy from them, right? So that's very important. Alafu, then we can go to sign out again. Let's try the client now. I think we have a client here. So for these clients, so client is almost the same as supplier, right? But now for client, the only thing he does that is very important is to check out farms. That's why you see here he has like explore farms. So that's the best thing he does. Like he just goes and sees which farms actually have something for me to buy. For instance, in this case, he has like this farm. And if you look at this, you look at this farm, it's actually this farm that we could see the owner created and sells the different things. So that's one of the farms that appears here, right? And then if he orders, you'll be able to see his orders there. Wallet, same case, same thing. For them, they cannot withdraw, so they just have either in escrow or the available balance, because them they don't need to withdraw, they just buy. And then they have favorites, which is like their favorite shops from the farmer's side, and then settings where they just upload like the profile picture or something, all those different things. So that is how this system works. I don't want to make this video overly long. The best thing I can do is to encourage you to try and go to Omabra Poultry Assistant and then see what happens. And for us, I think the main goal is at the end of the day to extend this whole architecture to even other livestock and crops if possible. So I think this works for now. The most important part of this architecture is the farmer, and that is where we have like most of our features embedded, including AI, including record keeping and all those other things. So that's it. Otherwise, thank you very much. You're very much welcome to Omabra Poultry Assistant. Play around with it. Thank you. Bye.